Hi everybody. So I posted my first video a few days ago and I was supposed to post the next day, but just was really busy. But I just wanted to talk to y'all today. I know my first video is my intro, so I'll kind of touch up on that because I realized I had music that might have been a little bit too loud. So um I have 10 plus years of working in corporate and non-corporate uh, roles, and I've worked with Fortune 500 companies. Um, I've worked with various industries as well. But what I want to talk about today is your resume. When it comes to your resume, I've seen a lot of resumes come to my desk, and I will say that one of the things that you don't want on your resume is your picture. I know a lot of people think that that is something you should do. I always tell my family to please remove their picture from their resume. It sounds like, hey, as a candidate, you want them to see, the face to the name, but it's not proper. Um, when recruiters like myself see that, we normally do question it like, okay, are they not aware of the times that we're in, which is, and I think this new change of not putting your picture on a resume started after 2020. So yes, you don't want to put your picture, and in addition to that, you really don't want people to judge you, right? Because the way you posted your picture, the way you came, on you're looking on your picture, whatever the case it is, you don't want people to discriminate against that and be biased on you. You definitely want a non-biased interaction with the corporate recruiter, or you know non-corporate recruiter. Like I said, I've done it all. I've done corporate, non-corporate. I've worked for you know different roles, so I can tell you more or less what not to do, um, what is viable, and I've also talked to a lot of my friends and colleagues as recruiters, hiring managers, uh, HR. Obviously, being a recruiter, where I've worked as, it is a part of being in HR, but again, you don't want to shoot yourself on the leg because of the fact that someone is going to discriminate your resume. You want less discrimination and more focus on your actual wording, your experience, and anything that is being discussed between you and the hiring manager or the recruiter, um, should be just focusing mainly on them focusing on the context of your resume. Um, Again, another thing that I would really consider is, besides now that we touched up on the picture, uh, I would say that don't have 3 pages worth of your resume. The max allowed of experience that you should have at any given time on a resume should not go above 10 years. Obviously, I have over 10 years of experience, so I cut it out. The companies are not really looking at that. There is probably 5% of companies out there that want all your history, but again, you want, as part of working in talent acquisition, uh, 10 years or less is the best route to go with. You don't want 3 pages. In addition to that, let's talk about the bullet points. How many bullet points do you need on each experience or company. You want a minimum of three, but it would be a best practice to have 6 bullet points to your experience, um, company that you've worked with. Because if you continue to add more bullet points, it's going to create a very lengthy resume again, which you don't want. You want to have your intro on your resume, and as far as like who you are, what are you about. Um, just kind of explain yourself more in general as what you've done in your 10 years experience, and talking more also into what specific job you're applying. Let's say you're applying to an account manager role. You really want to focus on speaking about that particular information more than anything else. So again, that is just something that I would look into, because when recruiters see that, it is a red flag. So recruiters see red flags all over your resume. Hiring managers do as well, but recruiters are the first stop to you getting across to the hiring manager. So you want to definitely have a good impression on your resume before it proceeds elsewhere. Again, as the recruiters, we are the ones who say yay or nay. We have the duty of making sure that we're submitting to our hiring managers their specifications, their requirements, whether it's a technical skill that they're looking for, any type of certain key skills, any behavior questions or that you might have experience on as well. When I talk about behavior, I mean psychology wise, anything that you've done. For example, you interacted with various clients. You're able to easily collaborate with clients and your stakeholders. You want to make sure that that is all parallel to communicating that message. Again, it's the behavior stuff really that I look at always is when I talk to the candidates, when I get on a phone call, and when I'm talking to the candidates, basically listening to any type of red flags. Are they wanting to be with the company long term? Are they really just here to get a job and then move on to the next one, which might be a few months and go, and that is all revealed on a call with the candidate, because believe it or not, there's a lot of candidates that give you their version of the truth, and some, well, let me say the truth on here. So most of the time the candidates are telling you that they don't want to be there long term, and then you kind of question them as to why they don't want to be with a company like long term, and they give a good reason. But again, these are the hiring managers are looking for someone at the company or to work in their department that are going to be stable, that is going to be someone that they can depend on. So again, these are all things that a lot of candidates think that it's the recruiter's fault. It's the recruiters this, the recruiters that. We do have a lot of hats that we wear, and because of that, it's hard for us to respond to every candidate like we want to. Okay. Again, I'm going to go back to talking about the resume. I know I went into talking to another topic, but I just kind of wanted to put that out there because I'm going to be discussing that experience, because like I said, I've had the privilege to work with probably hundreds and hundreds of hiring managers, hundreds, probably, no, not hundreds, thousands of candidates, literally thousands of candidates. So I definitely know what to look for, and I know when I'm talking to someone what exactly is not going to get them hired. Uh, and believe it or not, um, on your, I really like to. There's a lot of candidates that I talk to, and they're not very great at communicating their message. But the candidates that I really believe that when hearing them and asking them questions, because guys, I am an interrogator. I really love to interrogate people. It's part of the job, and it's just who I've always been, right? I love to ask questions, whether they're technical behavior questions. It's really something that I enjoy doing. So I like to get to the bottom of it and make sure that they're not, because they could be communicating the candidates something that they're not aware of. And so I want to make sure that, hey, are you sure? Is this what you're saying? Is this what you're doing? Is this what you're wanting? Or what is your past experience? Or what are you really wanting to do, in the future? That whole question of what do you see yourself in 5 years? I know it sounds very redundant. It sounds kind of old and annoying, because it's like, we're not fortune tellers. We cannot tell the future, right? But believe it or not, if you're not aware of how to answer that simple question, you're only going to trap yourself, because you're supposed to be looking and thinking outside of the box. Again, the company wants someone who has already vetted all those questions, right? And again, they're basic questions that you should already know. I've interviewed thousands of candidates. I've basically, in my recruiting process, and as a talent acquisition partner, as a corporate recruiter, senior recruiter, I was able to interview hiring managers as well, when in trying to get to understand what exactly they're looking for as far as the behaviors and the candidate, the technical requirements that they're wanting from a candidate. In other words, their skills, right? Their skill sets that they're looking for. But again, it's a lot that goes into talent acquisition. It's very challenging, but it's actually very interesting to me. Yes, we do a lot as talent acquisition as part of HR, but I honestly love what I do, because I take pride in what I do. And like I mentioned in my first video, I really enjoy hiring great candidates. And again, there's a lot of people that I believe that I've spoken to, that I know they're great candidates. They're just not able to bring that across, right? And they get nervous. It's natural to get nervous, right? Like right now, it's my second video. I might be a little bit hesitant and this and that, but I need to continue to post my videos. So, I want to help. I want to help people, because that's one of the things that I've always done. I've always helped people. I for years wanted to do a YouTube video, but I think, channel or what have you. But this is something that I really love doing. I enjoy helping people. So I want to help, anyone that is currently struggling in this job market, to identify what is going on with them, as far as why am I not being hired? What is there something in my resume that the hiring manager is not seeing, or the recruiter? Remember, the recruiters are the first to see your resume, not the hiring managers. We, again, send the resumes over to a batch of resumes to each hiring manager per job. So again, and there could be several hiring managers per job. So that's another topic for another day, but there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, hey, recruiting, or hey, answering emails, or making calls. I mean, it's a lot that goes into as far as making the calls to the candidates and discussing. And I mean, it's from the initiation of, hey, why, what made you apply to this job? Why do you want to work here at this company? What, I see that you have the skills, but what is it that kind of like, that's what I'm looking for. So that's more like something that is interesting, because candidates sometimes, and you know, you don't even have to, I mean, pretty much everybody has applied to a job, right? um and everyone needs to know what they need to look for. They need to know what is going on in this job market. Like I said, I have also been, having difficulty. As a recruiter, you are always the first one to be laid off. So I will be honest about that. I have been hit, but it's hard because, as I mentioned in my first video, I am a hard worker. I perform, and you can never say anything about my performance, because I love to perform. I love to do my job. But that's not to say that you won't be let go. Again, the recruiters are always the first to be let go. So yeah, a lot of people have told me, hey, why don't you think about doing something different? Why don't you try getting into something else? Because maybe, you know, just pivot somewhere else. But maybe you'll have a better opportunity elsewhere, or you can stay long term, because that's always been my goal as well. But again, the times have changed. The market has it's constantly changing, and as we see, different departments, different industries within these companies just constantly change. And we have to understand that sometimes these things are not within our control, right? It's really not your fault. As the candidate, I want you to be at peace and at ease, knowing that you didn't do anything. Even when you interview, you didn't do anything. It's just certain things that you don't not aware of, that the hiring managers and the recruiter, well, in this essence, if you're already passed to the hiring manager, most likely the recruiter has already, you know green lighted you to move forward, and they would highly consider you to be hired. But again, it is going to be up to the hiring manager to consider you. Now, I'm not here to talk bad about the hiring managers or the companies. Like I mentioned in my first video, I won't do that, because again, I am thankful for those opportunities, and I'm going to be grateful. I will not speak ill, but I say the truth as far as the process and the recruiting and HR, 100%. But I am not gonna bash any particular company or hiring manager, because of the fact that I have been given the opportunity to work at these companies. And I'm never gonna name the names of anyone individually or company wise, because it's not professional for me. That's not something I like to do. So again, I will let you know, hey, this does happen, but I won't, say which company it was or what have you, because to me, it's not professional again, but I will let you know what is going on. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about that briefly. Maybe I'll talk about a different subject soon, but there's so much that goes into recruiting that means just talking about what the briefly I talked about on the resume. That's just a piece of it. I mean, it doesn't even touch about everything else. It's just so much that goes involved in you getting a job or the company wanting to see something in the candidate. So again, thank you guys, and hopefully this will help you. And again, my purpose on here is to help. I am always, and I'm not just saying that because, oh, I want my channel to be successful. Obviously I do, but I mean, I just basically love to help people. As a recruiter, I always look to helping those that cannot help themselves, and I have, and I'm grateful for that because I know God sees everything that I've done for people, and because we are measured by Him, and so I'm good with that, right? I can be at peace, knowing that I did do my best to help people, and people know that I've helped them. Sometimes they don't appreciate it. Sometimes, for the most part, but it's okay. But I have helped people to get jobs, and because as a recruiter, I believe that I am I play a very pivotal role, and if I see a candidate that has potential, I will bat for you, and I will state my case as to why, and I'm not afraid to do it because I know what the hiring manager needs, and I know what the company is looking for, and I know that this candidate will be great working here. They just need an opportunity. Again, guys, I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I know again this is my second channel, so I know I'm probably sounding a little bit, not so connected with my communication right now, but this is my second video, so as I go talking, I hope to only get better. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, and please tune in for the next topic. Please subscribe, and if you can, please make sure, if you want to comment, what have you, say a topic you would like for me to talk about. I think that would be an incredible thing. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good one.